Alright, Guardians, welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video. Kaz PhD here. For those in the Destiny community, we have received some heartbreaking news. Bungie posted yesterday that the last update to the game will be on June 9th, 2026, and Destiny 2 will transition from one receiving live service updates to none, to effectively being a dead game. Now, I've stepped away from Destiny for quite some time. You can see from my channel I haven't made a video in over a year, and back then I didn't feel right about making a video about stepping away. I thought it would come across too negatively, and I just wanted to make peace with it and let others continue on their journey. But now that the game is officially retiring, I thought today would be a good day to do both. To talk about Destiny and my history and future with and beyond it. Many people have expressed in the last few days how important Destiny is to them and how important it has been to their life, and I would like to add to that. To give you some perspective, if you look at my life before Destiny and you look at my life after Destiny, they are dramatically different. And you can blame most of that on time, but much of it was also due to Destiny itself. My playing Destiny predates my use of Twitch, Discord, Reddit, Twitter. I was not active online in any real way before Destiny 2 even. I played Destiny 1 with friends. The first time a friend of mine introduced it, he said, yeah, this was made by the people who made Halo, and look, you can punch. And I spent 2 hours doing nothing but running around the Cosmodrome punching things. A true Titan was born. Fast forward a little bit, I was playing Destiny 1 with people I knew from university, and we didn't have a lot of us, so it was really difficult to do raids. Toward the end of the Destiny 1 life cycle, we had to start posting on Reddit to try to find other people to do raids with. 2016, I moved from Canada to France, and stayed there with my lovely wife, and got Destiny 2, and things started to change. I needed to reach out, make other friends, people who were continuing to play this new game, and yeah, I started reaching out to people I was playing with, people who needed help, people who I helped me and I wanted to thank, and I started making friends, you know. Watersider, Badger, 6-Foot Dwarf, Tower Mom, many, many more. If I'm not shouting you out, know that I'm thinking about you, but the video would be too long if I shouted all of you out. The thing is, and back then, where I got started with making videos and with streaming, I wanted to make videos because it seemed like an interesting skill that I didn't have. And I thought if I made videos on something I enjoyed, it would help me overcome any obstacles. So I started making videos for Destiny. But at that time, I had no real way to get footage. I was playing on an Xbox, I didn't have expensive equipment, and at the time you couldn't just plug in a hard drive into the Xbox and record footage. So what did I do? I literally made a Twitch account so I could stream video to Twitch, download it, add audio narration content, and then re-upload to YouTube. So yeah, my first, year's worth of making videos, really terrible video quality because it was laggy, it was, frame rate losses, all kinds of stuff. So the reason I'm going through all of that history is that through Destiny 2, I expanded my Twitter account. I started reaching out to other people. At a time, everyone I was following was connected in some way through Destiny, either a developer or a gamer or another content creator. My Destiny 2 clan started to grow, and we heard about Discord as a place to organize ourselves, so we did. And then more and more people started joining the Discord because I was helping people. I had friends who encouraged me to continue streaming and to actually, maybe talk to the people on stream rather than just using it as a video recording device. And we started doing stuff. We started doing, one of my proudest achievements is 0 Hour. I ran over 340 normal and legend or heroic runs of 0 Hour to help people get the weapon, get the ship, all the achievements. We were running a clinic in and out all day. Well, not all day. 3 hours a day, every day for months. We were running people through it, and I could do that. I could literally, you remember the fan part of 0 Hour? I was so practiced that I could go up backwards through the fans, because I had some people who would get stuck, and I knew we were doing so well on time, but they were getting stuck. I would climb back up the vents and go back out onto the wall or toward the wall and help them out. Absolutely insane. Anyway, moving on. So pre-Destiny, I'm only playing the game as if it's a local co-op. I didn't play PvP. I didn't play really on the online multiplayer space. And now we've got our Twitch, we've got our Discord, we've got here on YouTube videos. I've really just connected to a broader world. And that's the main point that I want to bring up. It's not a secret. I'm sure all of you feel exactly the same way, but Destiny has helped me meet so many people from all over the world, all walks of life, all ages. We've had so many crazy moments and beautiful moments. We've done charity events. We've had people come out on stream. We've had people share their struggles and their perspectives on all kinds of different matters in the community. And all of that based off the back of a game. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine us? Can you imagine, other games I'm sure have had similar kinds of impact, but it's still wild to me that we would all play this game, we would all share in it together, and it would build and build into such a wider thing. I'm not saying anything new. I'm sure you hear it from everybody else. I am also not working with a script, so I'm already 7 minutes in and it's kind of meandering, but hopefully passion replaces efficiency here. Destiny was a lot of things to a lot of people, right? I mean, some people only engaged in PvP, others engaged only in PvE. Some people loved or hated the raids. Same with the story. Story and lore are my thing. They're the thing that I really, really dug into and enjoyed, and I loved helping people discover that. And I had no problem if people didn't want to engage with it, or had trouble engaging with it, or didn't know things in the lore, because frankly it was not always well developed. But I loved kind of leaning in gently and being like, hey, this is why this is happening, or if you want to know more, you can go here. And people generally, it was another thread on the fabric of why they liked the game and why they dived into it. And the lore and the gameplay and the world building of Destiny were really great at kind of entwining themselves. Oh, you have a video game where sometimes you will die and you must come back and keep fighting. Let's just build that into the lore of the game, right? Maybe not revolutionary, but that entwining really felt like you were deeply connected within the world of the game, beyond the community stuff that I'm mentioning. Destiny has done so much for me and for my, community and for my friends. I've met so many wonderful, amazing people. I've grown as a content creator, as a community builder, and as a person. I mean, Destiny has, taught me a lot about other perspectives, other philosophies, other how games work, how games are made. I've learned a lot about the trials, tribulations, the ups and downs of how the gaming industry works through trying to understand what's going on with Destiny, And it's probably sounds silly, but Destiny has helped me be a hero, and to practice being a hero, and to learn what that means and what that feels like. And, I would love to have some Titan powers, but it has shown me that I like to be between my friends and difficulty. I like to stand between them. I like to kind of shoulder some of the burden if I can. I will tell you, I'll come back to this point. I've had so many wonderful moments over the history of this game. Here on the YouTube channel, I mean, some videos have just blown up in ways I didn't expect. You know, the Allegiance quest. You guys remember that? Drifter versus Vanguard? It's one of my most watched videos. I think it's like something like 30,000 views or something, analyzing that quest and my, you know, it's not a fork in the road, it's a spoon thesis. Presage. You remember the Presage mission? My Vanguard report, my kind of in-universe first-person perspective, as if my Titan were filing a report, sharing his, you know, perspectives on things to the Vanguard. I was one of the first content creators to get a video out on Presage, and I got like 8,000 views in 2 weeks or something. It was crazy. Incredibly proud of that. On a gameplay level, what I find very fascinating is all the things I've done and all the things I've experienced or seen or shared. We've had so many hilarious moments, friends getting trapped on the wall in 0 hour, playing charity events blindfolded, a friend naming his firstborn child after a character in Destiny because we raised over in part because we raised over $5,000 for children's hospitals. I can, in terms of my own selfish gameplay experience, I can boil down my favorite personal moment in Destiny to any time I played the game, especially Destiny 2, and I would leap over my allies' heads, activate my banner shield super, and I would block way too much damage for them. That was one of my absolute favorite things. I was talking about this last night on stream, and I used to run the Thorn variant of Savathun's Song, because with Ursa Furiosa, you could run that mission. You could run that super like 50 times because there was just so much damage coming in. I'm kind of narrowing into points that don't really matter to you, but yeah, you know. What more can I really say? It's as I've gone on to play other games, and let me talk a little bit about that, I guess. I stopped playing Destiny around the Heresy episode or something like this. Like many, I found the final shape to be a decent wrap-up of the tenured story, and I just felt that simultaneously too much had changed and not enough was changing about Destiny to keep me involved. And there was a bad side to my commitment to Destiny. At one point, all of my social media interactions, all of my creative endeavors, all of my free time and thought outside of work and life were Destiny themed. And that was bad. I was playing it every day, and I enjoyed it, and I thought, okay, I'm only playing a few hours at a set time in the late evening when all other responsibilities are held. That's okay, right? And for the most part, yes, but it also was maybe a little too much, and I needed to pull back. And by this point in the story, it wasn't really a problem, but I just wasn't feeling it the same way. And I thought, let's just back out. I'd also had complaints and gripes, which I'll get into in a minute, regarding the leadership in Destiny, like the Bungie team, but I thought, you know what, we'll move on. There's lots of other games that I have missed because I've been very dedicated to this one game, and so many other styles that I've not even explored because I've not had a chance to. So since then, I've been playing other games, shorter games, single player games, stuff like that. Destiny has huge shoes to fill, and I have not really found something that draws my eye. For a while, I was backing away from multiplayer games because it just felt like more work. And I just haven't really found one that draws me in. And I feel bad because I have some friends who want to play like Division and even like Star Wars Online and things like this. And I just haven't felt it, So I've tried to find my joy and play games that I want to play and continue to be present, just not in universe in the same shared game as everybody else. And I will say that it's been a little challenging. I think most people connected with me through Destiny, and I connected with them through Destiny. And now that I'm not playing that much anymore, and maybe they weren't, or maybe they didn't want to think about it, I found a lot of people have gone quiet. And this is not judgment. This is just fact. It's observation. The only part that I will kind of lean on a little bit is to remind everybody that I'm still here. I may be not great at posting or creating content, but I'm streaming and I'm still around. So hopefully you can come join the Discord or whatever. I'll give you another sales pitch toward the end of the video, but basically I'm just trying to make that point fairly clear. Destiny was a lot of things to a lot of people. There's like a story or a parable or something about I think it's like a group of blind men who encounter an elephant, and they put their hands on the elephant and they describe it, and it sounds very different, right? If you were to touch the leg of an elephant or the ears or the trunk, you would describe a very different animal. And that's what Destiny was like. And I know I said this a few minutes ago, but the reason that I'm bringing it up is that in many ways, Destiny was a work of art, and art is subjective. And if you're trying to make art, especially art that you want to have an emotional connection, or commercial art that you want to be successful, you aim for it to be successful. You try to do things on purpose that people will like, but there's an element of things that will happen, accidents, interpretations, the audience, that will impact the reception to your piece of art, for better or for worse. And this is the thing. There are many core elements of Destiny that we like because they were designed that way. But there are many elements of Destiny, the whole Destiny experience, that we like and love that were not originally part of it. I like to joke that Destiny was made by an extremely talented music. I like to make up a scenario where two jocks, two athletes, get together with a mad scientist and a rock star to make a game. And the jocks are yeah, shoot, amazing music, kind of, copied over from Halo. And Steve, you got the story and stuff, right, on the napkin? And he comes in with a giant binder or a library of mad scientist writing. The reason I bring that metaphor up is because it really feels like both in the community and in the dev studio, nobody quite ever knew what Destiny was in its entirety. Everybody, I think the best people at the best of times tried to keep an open mind and keep that perspective, but things would get lost. Things would get lower prioritized or over prioritized. Some people would believe things are more important than they are. I love the story and the world building, and I thought our connection to the world through story was one of the most important things for me. But I knew and I could see that it was not the most important thing for most people. The gameplay and the loot and a lot of those things were maybe a bit higher up. So there were times where I felt disappointed that something wasn't focused on or whatever. But that's what everyone is. And the point is, Destiny was a huge animal. It was not completely seen from head to toe by everyone. Changing its direction was incredibly challenging. It seemed to be slow, difficult. You either did it by a committee, which meant that it became kind of bland and confusing, or you did it with a bit more authority, in which case it was focused and disappointing to some, right? And the thing is, when you have art that has this emerging property where people love it despite its design, it's really difficult to continue that. Think of a movie that you love the first movie and they try to make a sequel. How do you do something new but familiar? How do you can't plan for that lightning in a bottle feeling, so how do you create something that has just as much of a chance of creating this spontaneous love for it? It's incredibly, incredibly difficult. Again, probably not unfamiliar thoughts to you, but just something I wanted to say. So in the end, well, I keep having these little thoughts in the middle. If I'm going to be negative for a very brief moment, the executive leadership team, whoever you people are, especially, the antique car dealer up at the very top, terrible. Between them and the wider video game industry, absolutely terrible. Destiny, the fact that so many of us are making videos and posts and thinking about this and talking about this game in this way 10 years later, and will continue to talk about it 10 years after this, is a testament to all the hardworking devs and the community itself for building and reinforcing this. And the people at the top making these insane decisions that, you develop Destiny 2 at the same time that you do Rise of Iron, so lessons learned from Rise of Iron and so on do not make it into Destiny 2. Therefore, the game releases and doesn't exactly feel like a sequel until Forsaken. The content vault, where, okay, you have too many things in the game because your game is probably a little bit over-designed, like aesthetically, so you need to move stuff out because you're not really good at making everyone use every asset in the game all the time, so you need to move stuff out so that you don't have so much of a workload. Fair, I guess, but what do? Do you actually put it in a vault and preserve it like the name suggests? No. In fact, you lose the assets, and when you get sued, by the way, I don't know if you know about this, but when Bungie was called into question about whether or not the Red War campaign was a little too close to somebody else's work, Bungie couldn't even demonstrate or represent the cutscenes in the game. They had to use lore YouTuber footage because they themselves didn't have it. They didn't have access to it. It wasn't so much a vault as it was a waste paper basket that has been shredded. It just astounds me. In the more recent terms, laying off a bunch of the team and then months later laying off a bunch of the team again, completely really left a sour taste in most of our mouths. And then I would say, I don't know anything about Sony, right? I come to Sony and stuff kind of backwards. People grew up on PlayStation and whatever. Here's my two perspectives about Sony, right? Sony, you're terrible at making like superhero comic book movies most of the time. And you have some of the greatest single person video game stories out there, right? Last of Us, I don't know what, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, like all these other games that like were driven by the Sony vehicle and on PlayStation. Like, I bought a PlayStation because I wanted to play those games and they weren't available elsewhere. And yet, you buy this property, Destiny, right? And this is another reason why I love Destiny. Destiny is a weird quilt, a mosaic that can hold way more than you would expect. Like, name another story, a universe that can simultaneously hold post-apocalyptic, frontier cowboy stuff, ninjas, samurai, cosmic galactic horror, romance, I think a technological horror, like anything. Pick a genre and I could probably find you a lore entry that suggests that that genre is in Destiny. And yet it all worked. It all fit. And here you are, Sony, with the chance to make books and comics and animation and toys and whatever. And you do a little bit of that. And you could have put your hand on the wheel and made more like other games and stuff, and you've just really squandered the whole universe, the whole opportunity. And part of that, I think, is because the video game industry is crazy. The video game industry is a place where nobody's unionized. They're making zillions of dollars, and it's still not enough. Baldur's Gate comes out, and it's one of the most successful games of all time, and well, it didn't meet our projections or whatever. Honestly, incredibly sad, infuriating, confusing, etc. Anyway, returning back to it, Destiny was a lot of things to a lot of people. It had a lot of potential. And for any of you who were out there who experienced it, I hope you remember the good times more than the bad. I hope that you remember all the fun. Running strikes with friends and just goofing off, playing Gambit all the time, uncovering weird plot threads, watching videos, listening to the music, all that stuff. You know, it will be very challenging to find another Destiny. I mean, there's news, I haven't really read it thoroughly, but I think news talking about how Destiny 3 is not really happening, etc., etc. I mean, frankly, I'm not holding my breath on anything. We were lucky to have Destiny 2. Incredibly lucky to have Destiny and Destiny 2. Like, there's so many things that did go wrong, it could have gone worse, and so many things were propped up by, you know, workers in the industry as well as the community itself. We were lucky to have it. And what I want us to do is to carry that forward. It will be hard to find another place to congregate and to play. I get that. It will be hard to find another game that draws you in. But at the end of it, we're all still Guardians. I don't care if you're playing Destiny or not. I don't care if you played for 5 seconds or you didn't. Even if you didn't play, but you share some of the same goals and philosophies, right? This is a part where I lean a little bit into my own advertising, but like, my Twitch channel will continue, or whatever stream I'm doing. My Discord and Blue Sky communities will remain open for you to share things you love. We've got people in the community talking about books and music and other games that they're playing, and we're going to continue to do that, right? Like a Ward of Dawn or like a Light in the Darkness. My communities are aimed to be relaxed, non-pressure community centers. You want to show up? Great. You don't want to show up? Fine. You want to know that there's a light on over there, even though you're not ready to come and join us? That's okay. And I hope that you out there, if you're not interested in joining us, I hope that you out there are able to find or make your space as well. Because whether or not we congregate at the tower, or in Destiny or not, it doesn't matter. We can carry that thought forward. We can continue to be Guardians both in our everyday lives as well as online and in our other communities. So yeah, lots of random thoughts. Sorry for getting a little dark in the middle there. Hopefully, you know, the rest of the sandwich here kind of fixes it up. It's a tough one. Question I often get is, will I return to Destiny for the final or whatever? Honestly, I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Nothing against it. I've had a great time in Destiny, and I'm done. I'm done playing it, and but I'm never going to be done thinking about it. I'm never going to be done loving it or loving what's come from it. So if you do go out there and play, have an amazing time. And share it with people, share it with us, share it with others. You know, Barrel Racing League is back, and there's like a new aspect for people. Like, there's all this new stuff. Go and enjoy it. Why not? And if you don't want to play, then don't play. Don't feel guilty about it. You had your time, and, you know, embrace and uplift your own joy and the joy of others. It's very straightforward, but it's very distracted by everything else that's going on. Anyway, for the future for me, I'm going to continue to be playing other games. I'm playing a lot of single-player games. Unfortunately, I haven't really been inspired to make videos. I am very slow at them. They take me a long time. And no other story or game so far has pulled me in enough to make me want to explore it and either reflect on it and share it or dive deeper to clarify it and describe it more. And that's okay. You know, not every game has to result in homework and an extra assignment. I'm having a good time. We're keeping the lights on, and we're continuing to share our love of community and games and story. So I want to thank you all very much for listening to my rant. Thank you all for the support and the love that we've seen and shared over the years. This channel is going to continue. I don't know what I will make next, but Embrace Destiny goes beyond the video game. It's, as people have reminded me recently, it's got a nice ring of taking accountability and control of, you know, our situation, and I like that a lot. So this channel will continue. I'm not sure what I'll make next, If you want more, more recent updates, follow me on Twitch or Blue Sky or whatever. You can find my name elsewhere and everywhere. Leave in the comments down below how you're thinking. Let's stay respectful. Let's try to find the joy and the positivity. And thank you again. Thank you for everything. So, as always, Guardians, I ask that you be safe, be kind, and we'll see you all next time. Bye now.